Welcome to the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Brought to you in part by Master Networks Wylie and powered by the Difference Media LLC.
Today's show is hosted by Brian Poduska, entrepreneur and owner of Real Property Management Focus, and co-hosted by Allison Wilson with Community Wealth Advisors and Caitlyn with Elite Diamond Cleaning.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our co-host and their guest share thoughts and insights about being a professional and the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in a very special way. Because the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie starts now.
Good morning, everyone. You are watching the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. And it may not be morning where you're watching, but it is here in DFW. We still have another half hour left of the morning today. But if you're watching us on repeat or somewhere else in the world, it may be evening. So good day to you. Excited to be here. My name is Brian Poduska, as you heard in the intro. I'm the owner of Real Property Management Focus, where we focus on your real estate investments. Also, one of the hosts of the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie show, and very excited to be here today. We are now on month 2 of this show, and I've been blown away with the quality of our co-hosts and the quality of the guests that they've been bringing on. And I was backstage for the last 10 or 15 minutes and got to meet our guests that are on today, and look forward to hearing from them. Excited for this show. If you watched our show last week or earlier this week, you know the topic of the month for June. The business topic is challenges and overcoming those challenges. So we will dive into that topic today with our co-hosts and our guests. Our co-host, as you heard on the beginning, is not Allison this week. We had a swap between Tara and Allison. So Allison was on last week and Tara is filling in for her this week. That's what we do here. We swap. We're family. We switch places when we need to. And that's one of the things that has been really refreshing for me as one of the hosts of this show, is getting to meet the members of the Wylie Master Networks group and really how tight they are and how well they work together as a group. Perfect example today and last week where we had a swap of co-hosts. So, without further ado, Lennon, why don't we bring on our co-host for the week and let's just chat real quick. Hi, Tara and Caitlyn. How are you guys, ladies?
Good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Well, thanks for swapping out, Tara. I know you were. I think you were on vacation last week, or had.
I was. I'm so grateful for Allison for switching with me because I know there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of graphics and everything, so it's kind of weird sometimes. But I'm super appreciative for her switching with me.
Well, the good thing is you get 2 weeks worth of at least visuals, right? So you had last week you were on in the intro, and now you're on for the entire show, and vice versa for Allison. So
it's a good way to look at it.
That's right. The glasses always half full. No, but I've been, as I said earlier, I've been blown away with just as I've gotten to know your group and you guys in particular, just how I guess how you guys have each other's back and how tight of a group you guys are. And that's pretty special. So, if you do enough networking, you may be lucky enough to be part of a group like that. But in most cases, yes, people form relationships and bonds and whatnot, but I haven't seen one as tight as what I've seen in your guys' group. So kudos to you guys as members and leaders in that group. But it's been great getting to know you guys and getting to see the camaraderie that you guys have in the group. So with that being said, what we usually do here is give you guys a minute or two to just really briefly introduce yourselves, talk about whatever you want to talk about with the group, talk about your businesses, and then we will break and we will do a segment called What's Up, Wylie? And I will let Lennon cue that up as we get closer to the break, but we've got a sweet little sounder on that. But I usually say ladies first, but since we have two ladies as co-hosts today, Tara, let's let you go first.
All right. Well, I am Tara Padilla, owner of Texan Window Cleaning with my husband. We are locally and family owned. We provide window cleaning, pressure washing, and gutter cleaning services to both residential and commercial properties throughout the Metroplex. We just celebrated our 6th year in business this past April, so we're excited about that. We just surpassed over 200 5-star reviews on Google and Facebook, so we're super, super excited about that. Worked really hard for that. And we love working and have synergy with realtors and roofers, anyone that's really looking to set themselves apart from their competition. We work with a lot of people that offer our services to their clients as well to set themselves apart from that. So I'm super excited to be here and be alongside Caitlyn, because I just absolutely love everything that Caitlyn is doing. And I wish I would have gotten started at Caitlyn's age. So Caitlyn, you take it away, sister.
Tara, that's awesome about y'all's reviews and how long y'all have been in business. People say most businesses don't last over 5 years. So it's really awesome to hit that point. We just celebrated year 4 with our business. So I'm Caitlyn Fiesel. I'm the owner of Elite Diamond Cleaning. We do residential, commercial, and construction cleaning. We love and really appreciate all of our employees and our clients that we get to work with. So what that really looks like is we do move in, move out. So we love to work with realtors. We clean Airbnbs, all of your commercial facilities. So after hours, we love to come in, and then we work with small construction companies to come in and do small remodels or different things. And we've learned a lot about what construction cleaning looks like. That one's really fun one. Totally different than just coming in and cleaning a home for guests or a party. The dust is crazy, to say the least. You have to learn a lot, but we've really loved it. And I built this business. I started when I was 18, right out of high school. So when Tara mentions I started young, I really did. I didn't really know what I was doing, but you learn a lot when you are in a position of leadership, and you have to learn quickly. And I'm really thankful that I had people in my life who helped me grow at such a young age when I was employing adults who were my parents' age. So that was a really fun and interesting time. And now that I'm just a little bit older, I have a little bit of knowledge under my belt, and it's just been a great experience. So,
well, that's awesome. And you know, judging by the book by the cover, I hate to do that, but I'm guessing you probably still employ several individuals who are still older than you. So that is a skill and an art, which is a necessity in owning a business. I love how we have a cleaning synergy today. You know, we've got exterior cleaning, we've got interior cleaning. We have a property management company who needs both of those. So I'm just saying we might have a little opportunity between the three of us right now.
I love it.
That's the conversation we were having before you came on, Brian.
Okay, well, see, I was reading your guys' mind.
You were.
But yeah, there's plenty of opportunity here, and especially now since real estate season is fully upon us, and turnover season from a property management standpoint is super busy. So we'll take that offline, but I think we've got a lot of good synergy on today's show.
Absolutely.
That being said, we will head to a commercial break here really quick. On the back end, we have our community segment, and one of the things I really love about this group too is you guys are really active in the Wylie community. So we have a cool little segment. Landon, hopefully I've given you enough time to cue up the sounder. What's it called? Maybe not. It's called What's Up Wylie, and we will talk about that on the back end of the commercial break. Right now, let's hit the commercials.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie is made possible in part by One Payon and JP Direct Health, providing affordable health insurance solutions as a proactive protection, not a reactive solution.
Allison Wilson and Community Wealth Advisors, Life Well Planned. Angela Tucker with Coldwell Banker Apex. Here to help you discover your real estate dreams and build wealth through all stages of life. Cordell Reynolds with New Res Mortgage. Your mortgage journey starts right now. Marley Knapp with Norwex. Chemical-free sustainable solutions for your home. And by Tara Padilla with Texan Window Cleaning. Don't let dirty windows be your pane in the glass. The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Together, we can make the difference.
And now back to the show.
All right, here we are. Now we are approaching the segment where we talk about some community activities and the involvement that you guys have. And hopefully London's had enough time to queue
Wylie?
up. There it is. What's up, Wylie? Awesome. Well, and I would be remiss if I didn't say that every time we come out of that first commercial break, and Tara, your tagline on that always makes me smile and laugh. So kudos to you guys for coming up with the pane in the glass
Thank you.
saying. I love it. All right, that being said, so let's jump into What's Up Wylie. Caitlyn, your turn to go first. Tell us what's up Wylie.
Perfect. So Tara's going to tell you about the one happening this weekend, which is super exciting. But the one that I wanted to share is July 8th. NSYNC Exotic is doing a watermelon toss. So if you haven't been to NSYNC, it's a great place to go. It's a lot of fun. So you're going to go register for that event. I think you can show up and it's going to be a great time.
All right, tell us what watermelon tossing is. That sounds fun and dangerous at the same time.
Exactly. So from what I understand with their tigers, they're going to do a watermelon toss and the tigers are involved. But that's all the information that you get.
Okay, that's a good tease. I like it. All right.
I saw the picture for that, and actually, I think the tiger was carrying the watermelon in its mouth.
Yes.
Super cute. So I think if anyone's watched the episodes previously, everyone has been talking about Bluegrass on Ballard. I personally have never been, but I have heard so many great things about it. And it's actually this weekend on downtown Ballard and Wylie. And there's actually going to be vendors that are in our Master Networks group set up. Like I know Ashley with Bledsoe Hydromulch is going to be set up, and she has these awesome fans that she got. As well as some cooling towels and some water bottles. There's going to be lots of vendors, arts and crafts. It's going to be a lot of fun. And that's this weekend, Bluegrass on Ballard in downtown Wylie. And then also this year, fireworks are coming back to Wylie for 4th of July. And so that is going to be on July 2nd.
That'll be fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, we heard a little bit about tease on that last week. So looking for the live fireworks, right? For the first time in years. That's awesome. No, looking forward to that too. So great events. Thank you guys or ladies for sharing. Appreciate that. And so what we typically do, we move out of What's Up Wylie and we bring on your guests. So without further ado, let's bring them on. Let's let them talk a little bit about their business. Let's learn a little bit about them, and then we can start diving into the topic of the month. So in the spirit of alternating, since we do have all ladies here, Tara, why don't you introduce your guest today?
Absolutely. So a couple weeks ago, I attended the Wylie Chamber of Commerce Women's 3rd Annual Women's Conference, and my guest was on the panel, and she just caught my eye. She's very involved in the city and the community. She's actually the deputy city manager of the City of Wylie, which is amazing. I can't imagine how much work goes into that, as well as the love for her son, and he plays football. And I really, recognize that because my son has played football. He's 14. He actually broke his hip playing football last October. So we're kind of debating whether he's going to go back and play football. So when she talked about those Friday night lights and spending that time with her son, I was like, I fully feel all of that. So without further ado, I'm super excited to introduce you guys to Renae Ollie with the City of Wylie.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Glad to be here. Thank you, Tara, for the invite. Before I don't know what the platform is, we'll just talk, I guess. But before I do that, I want to do a plug for NSYNC. You were talking about the watermelon toss. I think it was probably 2 years ago. I went out to NSYNC, took my great nieces there. They were 6 and 7. And it was a nighttime show. It was the greatest thing. They showed a movie. So it was a movie, The Lion King. So actually to be out there in lawn chairs, watching The Lion King and hearing these lions and tigers in the background actually roaring in real life, it was incredible. So if you have not visited NSYNC, I encourage you to go out there.
That sounds like so much fun. Wow.
It was a lot of fun.
Event. Yeah, that's awesome. And you can chuck watermelon. So
yeah.
So Renae, just provide a little bit more background. I do see there's a Cincinnati Bearcats sticker behind you. Is that where your son plays football?
Yes, he's a football player there. He graduated Wylie High School in 2019 and went off to Washington State University, full scholarship to play football, and decided to transfer in January And it was a whirlwind of things to get moved from Washington to Cincinnati. And when I took him up there, and then when I got back to the office, my staff, they had decorated everything in Cincinnati red and black. So I left those stickers and everything up there. But yeah, he's a wide receiver for Cincinnati. And so in 3 years that he was at Washington State, I did not miss a game.
Oh,
Every
good for
single
you.
game, home and away.
That's awesome.
So everybody knew, don't plan meetings for me on Fridays because I was on a plane heading out.
Yeah, you had
That was
your
great.
weekends blocked out.
Oh yeah,
Good for you. That's awesome.
yeah.
Well, little side note: we're sports nerds on this show. Lennon and I had a sports themed show going on where we were highlighting and it was, we tried to cover all the sports, but we focused pretty much on football since we're in Texas, right?
Right.
So yeah, we'll get back to it at some point, but had a lot of fun with that. Met some really interesting, high school and college coaches throughout that as well. So, but yeah, so we're sports nerds. We'll follow your son,
Good.
behind the scenes at least.
Oh, I see
Awesome.
Lyndon said he met him last summer working out at the junior high.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
I did. I was over and there was about 6 guys working out. And of course I used to coach and play and I did my little routine and kept watching them and wishing I was still young enough to get out there and go with them. But when it was over, I had to just walk up and talk to him because I mean, it being a coach, as long as I have been, when you see guys out on their own working out as hard as they were working out, it makes you feel pretty dang good because not every athlete is willing to go out in a Texas heat on turf and push themselves the way those guys were pushing. And I'm telling you what, they were getting after it. And so I didn't know who he was, Renae, but he mentioned that he was Washington State. And then when you said it, I'm like, gotta be him. And then
Yeah.
I recognized the last name. So I'm like, okay, well,
Awesome.
It's a small world, isn't it? You never know who you're meeting and where.
That's
I love
true.
it.
Awesome.
Small world indeed. Well, we'll get a little bit more into your role with the City of Wylie, Renae. I'm curious to hear about that. But let's shift gears real quick. Let Caitlyn introduce her guest, and we'll go from there.
So my guest today is Taylor. She is the marketing director for Red Door in Wylie. I met her in the dance studio through my sisters. They have been dancing there for 5 years. My sister Allison just got her 5-year award this past year. And so we really love Red Door, and I'm excited for Taylor to get to share more about Red Door and what they do for the community and giving the kids a place to dance and learn and grow and just exercise that gives them a great time to get those wiggles out in the time, and or either when they're passionate about it, really hone in and spend that time at the studio. So
yeah, well, thanks for having me. I'm Taylor Waters. I'm the marketing manager at Red Door Dance Academy in Wylie, and we offer dance classes for children ages 12 months to 18 years. And we even just recently launched an adult fitness program for the moms that are dropping their kids off at dance or dads and want to have a place to work out and get that workout in. So our classes range from, ballet, tap, jazz. We offer a lot of acro and tumbling. We have pretty much everything here. We even recently introduced Bollywood. So we have, some fun styles here. And right now we're in our summer season. So we have a bunch of different kids coming through these doors and just getting that summer, activity going. We love to be part of the kids' health journeys and keeping them active in the summer. So that's what we're all about.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. Look forward to learning a little bit more about that because, personally, I have a 13-year-old daughter who was a gymnast her entire, sports career, if you'll call it that. But she's finally hanging the gymnastics, uniform up. And we said, well, you have to do something different. Then you can't just go from doing full-time gymnastics to nothing. So we wanted her to get into dance. So
we'd love to have her.
Yeah, they tie together very well.
Yes, they do.
So looking to learn more about that, but that's awesome. Wait, Lennon, I see you have a little note there. You've got the Sync Exotics watermelon toss. We can have a visual if you want to see this. Let's check this out. All right, there we go. Is there video of anybody actually tossing it? And then
Don't have
Tigers
any
are feeding?
video, but I'll tell you what, I am really curious to watch a tiger throw a watermelon.
Yes. I was envisioning more like people tossing a watermelon and it was like a contest, but now that I see the actual tiger doing it, that I'm intrigued enough to show up. This sounds awesome. All right, so now we know what the watermelon toss is all about. Good stuff. So we're here not only to learn more about your businesses, but also to get a little bit of insight from folks who have been in the entrepreneurial world. Tara, Caitlyn, 6 years, 4 years. Renae, you talked about being in the city leadership. I have to imagine there's plenty of challenges with that.
Oh, yes.
Taylor, I'm not sure, maybe you said it, but I didn't catch it, but how long you've been with Red Door, but it sounds like you guys have been operating for quite a long time. So the business topic of the month, we do rotate it every month, but the business topic of June is challenges and challenges that you face, not only necessarily from a business perspective, but maybe from a personal perspective as well, and how you've overcome those. And, those challenges may, and I don't want to have a negative connotation on the word challenges, because yes, it has a bit of a negative connotation, but challenges can be a good thing too. And they can pop up and arise because of a good reason, right? An example would be you're growing like crazy as a business. You don't have enough time on your hands. That's a challenge. How do you solve it, right? So one of the other things that I've noticed with this group, the Wylie Master Networks chapter, you guys are really open about, either failures or negative challenges that you guys have faced in the past and how you guys have either overcome those or helped each other through those. So those have come up on previous shows as well. So if you guys have any examples of that, would love to hear it. So what we'll do right now real quick is take another really quick break to share some information from our sponsors, and then we'll dive into the topic of, what the June topic is, and that is business challenges and personal challenges.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
Are you stressed about health insurance? Juan Payon at JP Direct Health can help. JP Direct Health offers a wide variety of plans to fit your needs and your budget, and we're here to answer any questions you have. We're committed to providing our customers with the best possible service, and we're always looking for ways to save you money. So what are you waiting for? Get started today and see how JP Direct Health can help you get the health insurance you need. Call Juan today at 214-490-9967.
Do you want your home or office to sparkle? Then call Elite Diamond Cleaning today. From basic cleaning to deep cleaning, and using only the highest quality cleaning products and equipment, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Our team of experienced cleaners will work quickly and efficiently to clean every nook and cranny, taking care of all the details so you don't have to. With a variety of pricing options to fit any budget, you can be sure that you are getting the best possible price. Call Elite Diamond Cleaning today at 214-300-9876 to schedule a free estimate. Your home and office is a diamond. Let us get it out of the dust.
Are you looking for new or more reliable and affordable home services? Look no further than Utility Connect. At Utility Connect, we understand that every customer is different. Thanks to our partnership with The Difference, our free concierge service seamlessly shops all of your utilities and services for your home or business with one easy phone call. So what are you waiting for? Call Utility Connect today and experience the difference. For more information, give us a call at 469-414-2033 or visit us at www.utilityconnect.net/thedifference to learn more.
Are you a small business owner who is struggling to make ends meet? Do you need funding to grow your business? If so, then you need to talk to Jim Thomas at Business Funding Solutions. We offer fast, easy, and affordable financing options for small businesses of all sizes. We have helped thousands of businesses get the funding they need to succeed, and we can do the same for you. Our financing options start at $5,000 and go all the way up to $5 million, with no minimum credit score required. And with our 60-second application and 24-hour funding, you'll get the money you need quickly so you can focus on growing your business. Don't wait any longer. Contact Jim Thomas today at 214-629-7223 or find him on our website at www.thedifferenceradio.com. And don't forget to tell him you heard about him on The Difference.
And now back to the show.
All right, welcome back. There's good funding opportunity for challenges right there. Look them up. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so topic of the month, as we discussed, challenges, business challenges as a local entrepreneur or community leader, in the case of Renae. So hopefully you guys have thought about it. Tara, I thought about this earlier when you were talking about your ownership situation. You and your husband are the owners of the business. Inherently, that's going to present some challenges as well, I'm sure. Would love to hear maybe about that. But does anybody have anything that they want to throw out there as far as a recent challenge or maybe one in the past that you want to share, and then how you approached overcoming that?
I'll start. On the city side of it, I think it's important for us to let people know, even with the city, we're here to help. With businesses that come in, we're here to help. Our goal is to get you open. A lot of times there's a lot of red tape and people probably think, oh, well, the city is not here to help. And the challenges that we see, I started working for Wylie in 2004. So the population was nowhere near what it is now. A lot of our zoning ordinances and things that we allow was based on a population of 16,000. 20,000 people, or a building that's 2,000 square feet. So our ordinance reflected that. So then when we started growing in this really huge shift of growth, both residential and commercial, the way we did business in 2004, it wasn't the same. So we really had to work with the business owners, the residents, of changing our ordinances and allowing things that Wylie wasn't accustomed to. And we had to do it quickly. So, that was the negative side of the challenge, was how quick we had to do it. But the positive side, we're growing. That's more people coming in, more income, our, income base really growing to where we are now, over 60,000 people. And, really looking at talking to those businesses, what can we do as a city to make your business successful? And I think that partnership is great.
So excited to bring you here, Renae, because I don't know, but I can only imagine the amount of businesses that you see, both big and small, coming in, because I think you handle things like building inspections, code enforcement, engineering, planning, public info, public works. So you see everything before we're actually seeing it. You're actually helping these businesses be able to open their doors and be able to thrive. So that's why I was super, super glad to bring you here, because you're seeing it literally from the ground up. And you guys' job really is to help these businesses open their doors the correct way and, help them be able to thrive the way that they plan to thrive.
And even balancing that with, your larger companies coming in, but still keeping our focus on the smaller companies. Yeah, the larger companies, they may be bringing more, property tax dollars in, but we still have to pay close attention to maintain and keep our smaller businesses. They're our community as well.
Absolutely. And in Wylie in particular, and that's one of the things that really sold me, because I'm not from Wylie, right? I'm from Garland, so I'm close. But when I first went to this Master Networks in Wylie, it was such the small town feel, and the way that everyone stuck together with these small businesses really just pulled me in the very second that I was there. And meeting people like you within the city that also want small businesses to thrive. You don't only want the larger businesses, and you're a resident, and your son went to high school in Wylie, so you are a part of this tight-knit community.
Right.
Yeah, and you're really, Renae, you're in a unique position because, as you guys have kind of painted the picture, Wylie being a small town to begin with, it's not so small anymore.
Right.
I personally live in Frisco, and talk about massive growth going on. It's exponential. I guess the question is twofold. have you reached out to other cities to learn how they're doing it? Number one, as far as managing that growth and the challenge that comes along with it. Yes or no? You may or may not have. It may be innovative approach. And then two, are there specific policies that you guys follow as far as when it comes to small, medium-sized, large companies? Or is there anything that's really a catalyst to that growth from a policy perspective?
Yes. So, prior to being deputy city manager, I spent the first 10 years maybe as planning director. So I got to see the planning side of it. And during that time, I also served as president for the Texas planning chapter. So the network of Texas planners, both locally as well as South Texas, all parts of Texas, we get on the phone. Hey, how did you handle this? Or, hey, send me a copy of your ordinance. What does your ordinances look like? How do we manage this? Those conversations went on numerous times. And then even moving into the city manager's office, the network there with the city managers now. Okay, how do you present these things to council? How do you deal with your council to see it's time to make those changes? And how do we do that? So yes. And then the downside of it sometimes is, as a city locally, we're trying to help our community. But then there are so many rules and regulations that are mandated by the state. We have our citizens yelling at us, and we're like, the argument is really not with us. We need to go down to Austin. And a lot of times at the state level, they're looking at a much bigger picture, and they don't break it down to the local level. So sometimes our hands are tied. And all we can do is just let the citizens know. And believe me, these last few years, I've sent so many letters to our representatives down in Austin. Most of them did no good, but we're here.
It's the fact that you're trying that matters. We appreciate you for that.
Well, the louder they are, the louder you are, the maybe the more apt they are to hear you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's great. And you never knew you were going to get into politics, did you?
No.
Well, no, that's great insight. So biggest nugget I take out of that is teamwork, right? So
Yes.
Sharing best practices and really reaching out to other communities and other folks that are folks that are in the same situation as you. And I think that's a great point. So, whether it's growth or I guess political challenges, there's strength in numbers when you're beating that drum, for change. So
right.
No, that's great to hear. Anybody else with any other examples of challenges that you guys have gone through?
Well, I think in the service industry, they're a little bit different. The biggest ones that we hear about are maintaining clients and maintaining employees. When I first started my cleaning company, it was very difficult to get cleaners to stay. Typically, I would tell people a cleaner would stay 2 weeks. So I would barely get them through the training process and cleaning independently, where I felt comfortable with them going into other people's homes by themselves, and then they would disappear. And then we went through COVID. We continued cleaning, but the hardest part was then after the aftermath of that is everyone on unemployment. So working with with people who were on unemployment, and we couldn't get people on our teams. And I was paying by the job at that time, and which is a great opportunity. If you're kind of an entrepreneur, you understand most of the time by the job is great because you can get it done super fast and then you're out of there. And you've made your money, but it just wasn't clicking for my employees, because we have our culture is a clock in, clock out. They want to know how many hours they're working and what they're doing and what they're getting paid for it. And so I would spend countless hours just talking through this problem, and I don't know what to do. And I made the jump and I switched them to hourly. And what that simply did was, when I was advertising, posting for teams, it was a simple thing that changed drastically for me, and I was able to maintain. And now I have the best team that I've ever had. We've instilled things like PTO, which is a very difficult thing for a small business, gas allowance, things that really benefit and not only add to their hourly pay, but that they encourage people to stay with your company. And so from a service-based industry, I had to maybe incentivize and add those things. And it was a hard jump for me but then you learn you have to spend money to make money, and investing in your employees is one of the best places to do it. And when you invest in your employees, it solved my problem of retention with clients, because I've invested in my employees and they love their jobs and they love the clients that they serve just as much as I do. And it's a fantastic opportunity to serve both and accomplish both things. So.
Yeah, so those are fantastic points, Caitlyn. And I think, I guess in one way, shape, or form, we're all in the service industry and the screen here, right? And hiring is absolutely an issue. And then, it doesn't matter, service industry in particular, for sure. But manufacturing, same thing. Any sort of industry that we're in, hiring and retention are extremely challenging. And I love that you guys basically changed your culture and created a culture to create that longevity. So that's a perfect example of a challenge that everybody's facing with hiring.
Absolutely. And Caitlyn, I love that you figured that out so quickly, because, there's been companies that I've worked for that have been established for several years. I mean, since the 80s, since before I was born, and they still have not figured out that if you take care of your employees, they will take care of you. And so to the back end of June's topic, that is how you thrive in a competitive market, because you are competing against so many other cleaning companies. Well, how do you set yourself apart and make people want to work for you? And I think that's a great thing that you have already figured that out.
It's so important. And when we think about cleaners, there are so many, because you go from like solo independent cleaners just by themselves. I'm cleaning maybe on the weekends because they need some extra money, or they're beginning that phase into, okay, I want to make this something. They may have one or two helpers, and that's fantastic. And then you get to this point where you're maybe where we are, where we have 10 cleaners and we're building a team where we work Monday through Sunday. We're constantly running, and where you get to that point, and how do you set yourself apart in a market that is so thick? I mean, you can turn around and, well, I clean a house, I can clean for you. And, but you really do have to set yourself apart and make yourself different than those. And I quickly learned that it's the solo cleaners. I heard this yesterday and it was really impactful for me, is in an industry where there's a lot of little, that's not the right word, independence, where there just maybe one or so, how do you stand apart when they might not show up? Because I get called all the time where, okay, so-and-so didn't show up, and what are we going to do? And so you stand firm when maybe the hobbyists are not there. So when the people who are doing it as a hobby or as extras, you'll be the backup for them, because no matter what, no matter the viewpoint, if someone sees you still as a small business or maybe insignificant because you're young or you're doing something, you're still the one who's going to be there when everyone else isn't. So
I love that. Absolutely.
And to kind of piggyback off of that, so Red Doors started in Wylie in 2010. So this is going to be our 14th season. Wow. But we experienced a lot of growth right before COVID. And so we kind of had to figure out, okay, well, we have this standard of staff, of employees. We hold a very high standard to who we hire, because they are dealing with something so important as, a kid's education. And you have to be very careful with who you hire. And the dance industry, you can get people who are very flaky. And so our owner, Marissa Melis, has a very high standard of, the employees that she hires. But we found that when we started experiencing growth, it was so hard to find people that met that high standard to hire to teach the kids. So what Marissa did is she got us within the More Than Just Great Dancing group, which is like a worldwide community where you can do extensive training, learn like early childhood development. There's a ton of courses, a giant group that we're a part of. And she became a coach for that, so that we could kind of get plugged into a group and then kind of use that culture to help our culture at the studio kind of grow more so that we can, attract the right type of staff members. And so with that, I think that creating that just camaraderie between the staff and then having them, show off. And my world is marketing. So we showed that off on social media. What a great place it is to work at Red Door. And that kind of helped us, kind of scale the business with the growth in customers.
So I hear culture, really ingraining that culture and establishing that culture as a solution that you guys have used to overcome those challenges, unique to your industry, I guess, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So just thinking out loud here, and Lennon, you brought up a good question on the side here, but as far as when it comes to Wylie and the growth that Wylie's managing and I guess looking for, right? Is there a particular industry or type of business, Renae, that the City of Wylie is looking for, and if so, just let us know that.
Yeah. So I would say like manufacturing. So our Economic Development Corporation, they're kind of really tagged with trying to bring those type businesses in. And the reason that it's so important, if you look at Wylie 15 years ago, we were a bedroom community. Residential was the biggest thing. And with that, property taxes. So a lot of the tax burden was on the residential homes. So the more businesses that come in, some of that tax burden gets to shift. And the reason that I say manufacturing would be so key is because they're not just taxing the land, they're taxing those widgets and all those parts that come in. So that increases the tax dollars that come into the city and can relax the tax burden on the homeowners. And I think for the last 4 or 5 years, maybe, we have been actually able to lower our tax rate a little bit. And so again, shifting that from a property tax residential owner to a business, especially when they have those business property tax, all those little widgets, all those little we have like Sandon, or not Sandon, some of the other larger industries. A lot of times people say, oh, we don't want all those big 18-wheelers coming in, but really that's dollar-wise, that's really helping the city a lot.
That's what I was going to say. I bet it's a challenge too, getting people to understand, while yes, we do still want to keep this small town feel, we do still need these big industries to come in to help that tax burden. And when people don't understand that, it causes for a little bit of disagreements and confusion, but it makes sense, when you put it that way.
Yeah. And it I think, Brian, you said it best when you were talking about the topic of the challenges. Not all challenges are negative. There's positives, but with those positive challenges, sometimes there are negative things. When you're a great community, everybody wants to be here.
Yeah.
So everybody comes, our population goes up. And then once we hit 50,000 population, so many things changed. All the street lights became ours. Before it was all TxDOT. Once we hit 50,000 population, the city's in charge of those street lights. Well, now we have to hire signal technicians. We have to hire, all these people. We have to get these equipment. Well, we need those dollars. So it's kind of just a big circle. And rather than getting all the money from a residential property owner, that's why we need the businesses.
Well, that little graphic that Lennon put up just a minute ago, everybody loves lower taxes, right? So bring on those businesses, But yeah, that's an interesting point. So those are a lot of the little nuances that, people who are living in growing communities don't realize the challenges that you guys are facing as far as where the funding's coming from. I never knew that 50,000 population equals no more TxDOT support on your lights, right?
Right.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And how many other of those little clauses are baked into, whatever agreements that are out there. So that's really interesting. And yeah, how do you plan for those? Because
Right.
you can look at population growth charts all you want, but at some point there's how do you tie all those other nuances of community management together to realize that, yeah, we need money for that. How does that work?
Right.
So yeah, no, that's interesting.
Well, I wanted to say one thing was when you mentioned that about not all challenges are bad challenges, as I started thinking through that, I was like, well, when we face a challenge, I think it's kind of in the word, it's a challenge. So most of the time we're like, oh man, we have to work through this. But I think it really just comes down to perspective. As entrepreneurs, the people at leading, our perspective has to be positive when we look at a challenge, because realistically, the good challenges come in the outcome. It's when we look at it from the other side of the challenge
Right.
that we go, oh, that was a great thing. I learned a lot, or that was a good challenge. Well, what really is the difference between a good challenge and a bad challenge? It's just your perspective. And you just have to maintain positive and be able to go, okay, for my business, I'm going to endure this challenge so that I can get on the other side and be better or do better, serve better, whatever that may be. So
Right.
I absolutely love that perspective because you're right. Good, bad, indifferent. A challenge is a challenge. And no matter what, you're learning something on the back end.
exactly.
So speaking of on the back end, we do need to jump to a commercial real quick here. But on the back end of that, we can dive a little bit more into that topic. We do have a limited amount of time. So I do want to dive into, those learning experiences that you've had coming out of challenges, good, bad, or indifferent. And then we'll wrap up the show. But right now, let's jump to commercial, and we'll talk about that on the back end.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie is made possible in part by Jenny Connolly with TC Roofing and Restoration. Trust TC to keep you leak-free. Jessica Cooper with Diesel Signs and Displays. The Power of Advertising. Lynn Heberly with Coldwell Banker Apex, guiding you home with heart and expertise. Caitlyn Fiesel with Elite Diamond Cleaning. Your home and office is a diamond. Let's get it out of the dust. Dallas Jones with Rementis, bringing your memories and technology back to life. Melissa Mancini, owner of Melissa Mancini Photography. Don't let your babies grow up to be JPEGs. And by Marissa Page with Page Restoration. When the worst happens, let our family take care of yours. The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Together, we can make the difference.
And now back to the show.
All right, welcome back. So, Caitlyn, that was a great, segue into, after you've overcome a challenge or gone through a challenge, the growth that you experience on the back end or the learning experience that you got out of it on the back end. We can talk to it about real quick about the difference, right? So when we started this 3.5 years ago, Lennon, we were in a studio in a completely different format, same foundation, but different environment, different format. COVID comes along, so something that we all face is a huge challenge, right? And there's no way of getting around that. And we've evolved to the point where we're doing this awesome, Pod Connect community difference concept now, and there's been a lot of evolution from there. But a lot of that was driven by the challenge of, okay, how do we move from a studio, which is now closed because of COVID, to something different? So that's an example really quickly on how the difference has gotten through that and evolved through that. But do you guys have a specific example that you'd like to share on the back end of coming through a challenge, or maybe you're still working on one, but what you learned and how you grew from that?
Yeah, I'll jump in here. So out of COVID was a very, deciding time in lots of small businesses in Wylie, but for ours, especially, dance is an in-person activity. So once COVID happened, we learned, our team got together and we learned how to do everything on Zoom. So we taught all of our classes on Zoom. We created, the social media, the parent groups, so that the parents could feel sort of community. So out of that challenge, we looked at it more as an opportunity to not only grow in our programs and what we offer to the community, but also as an opportunity to kind of systemize on the back end and with our leadership team kind of figure out, okay, so challenges are going to keep coming up, but these are all opportunities that we can learn, grow, and also just help us to, make the business better internally. So we created a leadership team from our teachers. So we have a director for our older kids program now. We have a director for our Shining Stars, which is our younger kids, early childhood education type program. And then I'm the marketing manager. We have a customer care team manager now. So we created this team of champions that now can be in charge and, take care of specific programs, so that if something like COVID ever does happen again, we have those go-to people who are equipped with the right resources to handle such an opportunity.
I love that. So like Renae said, not a stumbling block, but a stepping stone. You guys had to quickly pivot and figure out how you were going to make this work going forward, because no one knew what was going to happen. I mean, no one ever expected shut down. What you're telling me, I can't leave my house. No one ever expected that to happen. Right. So you guys had to just like Zoom themselves. Everyone had to figure out, what are we going to do now? And you guys took that as an opportunity to grow and to pivot. So that's amazing.
Yeah. And if you're not evolving in your industry, you will inevitably get left behind.
Right.
Just will. Someone will outpace you, someone will outstep you, they'll keep growing and you're not. It's the same in your personal growth for your business. As leaders, we have to keep growing, and every challenge that we take, Lyndon said it, they're just growth opportunities. They're just opportunities for us to grow and get better, but we can't get stagnant and allow other people to outpace us and outgrow, because it's so, they force you to grow. They force you to get better and do what you have to do. So,
yeah,
I agree. And Brian, you had mentioned the challenge of working with your spouse, and Caitlyn works with her spouse as well.
Yep.
But I'll be honest with you, at first it was a little bit of a challenge. He is very much the visionary and I am very much the integrator. But before we knew that, we were bumping heads so much because we're so the same, but we're also so different. So it took us having to figure out, okay, these are your boxes, these are my boxes. And, I'm going to do these and you're going to do these. And of course we still come in the middle and we come to an agreement on everything, because we are 50-50 owners. But it just took that time, realizing, one, pick your battles, and two, stay in your lane, stay in your box. There's a reason why I see and I do what I do, and there's a reason why he sees and he does what he does. So in all actuality, it brought us together more than it drew us apart. And so that was really exciting for us, because we never, envisioned us being business owners, and especially not being business owners together, because we've been together for 18 years now. So high school sweethearts, we essentially grew up together. We're still growing up together, I guess you could say, but
good perspective. I like that.
Yeah. So it really hasn't been a challenge. It really honestly and truthfully brought us together. Because people ask me that all the time. They're like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I don't know if I'd be able to do it any other way anymore.
Tara, I didn't realize our stories were so similar. That's funny. I had someone tell me I could never work with my spouse. And my response was, I couldn't work without my spouse.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do it without him. And I am definitely the visionary. And sometimes we butt heads because my ideas, and he's the one who has to implement them. So he's the one who has to do them, but we do come to a conclusion. But yeah, I couldn't work without him, and we're the best teammates together. So
I love it.
That's a great yin yang for both of you guys. I'm curious if it would work the other way, where if you guys both were kind of visionaries and you didn't have an executioner in the group, it's like, how does that work? But no, that's great that you guys both have personalities kind of opposite each other, but congruent at the same time. So that's super cool. Now,
yeah, he's a big risk taker, and I was not. So I had to learn to be able to take those risks.
Well, as a business owner, you have to roll the dice and take that risk and jump off that cliff. So if you can do it holding hands, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Question for you guys, just curious, do you have like a stop sign or anything that you put up when you're in the house and be like, all right, no more business talk, we're talking family stuff?
Code word. We do have a code word. Actually, it's pineapples. I don't know why. We both love pineapples. But no, I mean, if it gets to a point where I can tell it's going to get into a heated discussion, and especially if it's fresh, we'll just take some space. And that was a challenge that we had to overcome as well. We had to take some space and take some time and, realize that sorry, my dog's great live show. So, had to take that space away from each other to get your thoughts together. And how can I address this in a way that's not going to offend you? Because at the end of the day, we do still sleep in the same bed. We are still in the same house. So we do still have to love each other. And one of my coaches, one of my mentors calls it a love sandwich. So what you do is you love it in the beginning, then you put, the meat and the cheese of what you need to talk about in the middle, and then you put some more love at the end. So it's not so bad whenever you're going over it.
As long as you can still bite it, right? Bite the love sandwich.
Yep.
That's a good analogy. I like it. No, that's awesome. And unique challenge for sure. Like owning a business is a challenge in and of itself. And then when you do it with a spouse, it sounds like you guys have that figured out, which is fantastic. But it can also present challenges when it's time to go to bed and you're still at odds with each other.
Yeah. We do have a guest room, but
well, and that's part of, all right, it's your turn.
Parker and I have only been married for 2 months as of yesterday, so we're still babies.
Okay.
Thank you. So we haven't come to those conclusions where we've had to bring up our guest room yet, but there are things. So I think you learn in the process of what it looks like in every season. Where we don't have kids yet, so I'm sure that will be a fun new season to walk through and what you do for business and things together. So yeah, it is fun to work with your spouse, but you just have to stay on your toes and be willing to grow yourself and be vulnerable and be willing to be wrong, which is not always my easiest thing. So
absolutely.
Well, and as you look forward to kids and all that, so congratulations on the newlywed. But as you look forward to challenges, right? Kids certainly throw certain challenges your way. So that's awesome. All right. So what I do have to do right now is pause because we are running out of time. And I want to make sure that we get everybody their due as far as, getting their information across and giving themselves a quick recap so people know who they are and how to reach them. So let's go with our guests first. Renae, why don't you kick that off? Just who you are, what you do, how can people get a hold of you, and we'll go around the horn.
Yeah. So Renae Ollie, I am Deputy City Manager with the City of Wylie, and my email is renee.ollie@wylietexas.gov, Texas spelled out. My door is always open. I say that to my coworkers. I say that to the staff that report directly to me, and I say it to the citizens. My door is always open. Come see me if you have any questions, any issues, any ideas. Again, some of them are mandated by the state. I can't do. But if I can't do it, I'll try to help you best I can.
Be careful what you wish for. Your inbox may be overflowing with issues. Thank you, Renae. Taylor, you're up.
All right. I'm Taylor Waters, and Red Door Dance Academy is on pretty much every social media platform you can think of. So we're at Red Door Dance on Instagram, TikTok, Red Door Dance Academy, Facebook, LinkedIn, and you can always find us on our website, www.dancereddoor.com. Or you can just come visit us here in Wylie. We're on Hooper Road. We'd love to have you come in. We have free trial classes all the time. We're open and ready to serve our community and help those little kids get into their dance classes.
That's awesome. Thank you,
Brian.
Taylor.
Brian, I'm challenging you right now to a trial at Red Door Dance Academy.
You can come to my ballet class. That's what you can do.
The ballet. I want you to do the ballet, and we're going to record it.
I was going to say, bring the cameras because it's going to be off the hook.
Yeah, we'll mic you up. It'll be perfect.
No, let's do a river dance.
Then,
yeah.
we're going to drive some content with
river
that.
Dance. I love it.
All right, you're on. I'll do it. Let's go. All right. With that being said, Tara, you're up.
Yeah, sure. So Texan Window Cleaning is also on all major social media platforms. We love sharing all kinds of reels and TikToks. You get to see, a day in the life at Texan Window Cleaning on all platforms. Also on my personal page, I love to share business, personal life, family. And so you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram, Tara Padilla.
Awesome. Thanks, Tara. Caitlyn, last but not least.
Again, my name is Caitlyn Fiesel. I'm the owner of Elite Diamond Cleaning. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We'd love to get to know you. Our website is elitediamondcleaning.com. You can go and fill out a form, get a free estimate. I'll come out and personally meet you, go through your house, and we'll get you set up with the best team to serve your family and your needs, whether that's your home or business.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Co-hosts, great to see you again. Guests, great to meet you today. It's fantastic getting to know you guys and diving into the topic of the month, which was overcoming challenges. Next month, we have a new topic. So we are ending the end of June here. July's topic will be developing a personal brand and building a strong reputation within the community. So looking forward to diving into that next month. But again, ladies, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Hey, Brian, real quick, I want to read what's going across the bottom of the screen because this is very, very important. North Texas Community Difference-Wylie just crossed the 50,000 total viewer mark.
Boom!
Wow.
In less than 60 days. And that is within a 50-mile radius of Wylie, Texas. So fastest of any show on the difference over the 4-year period.
Well, and I told you up front, this show has been fantastic. The quality of people that you guys bring in and yourselves in particular are fantastic. The energy is awesome. It doesn't surprise me to see that number. What I love about it is it's all local, right? And that's what we're trying to do. So kudos to you guys. Great job. That's great news, Landon. Thanks for sharing that. Anything else to add before we tip off here?
Nope, that's it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining me, Renae. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for the offer. I enjoyed it. Wasn't as nervous as I thought it was going to be.
I love it.
Awesome. Everybody enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for watching today's show. If you like today's show, please share, like, and subscribe, and make sure to shop, buy, and hire in Wylie. Special thanks to all the guests, co-hosts, and sponsors of the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie.
Thank you for tuning in and watching our show. If you would like to see our next show, or more shows like this one, just click the QR code and go to show schedules, or just follow and subscribe to our channels to get updates and notifications of this show, and many others like it.